It was a regular October morning in Riverside, Ohio, the kind where people were rushing to work, grabbing coffee, just another quiet day in suburbia. But that calm didn't last long, because right in the middle of town, near a local intersection, a white SUV sat parked on the side of the road. The driver's seat was empty, the door was unlocked. Inside were a purse, credit cards, and a phone. And the woman who owned it, Cheryl Coker, had completely vanished. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken glass, no blood, just an eerie emptiness. Within hours, her friends and family were calling her phone, driving around, retracing her last steps. No one knew it yet, but this disappearance would turn into one of the most chilling mysteries in Ohio. A case that would twist between family secrets, hidden cameras, and betrayal that felt straight out of a crime thriller. Cheryl Coker was 46, a mum, a wife, and someone who lived for her daughters. She worked hard, cared deeply about her family, and everyone said she had this natural warmth to her, the kind of person who made you feel seen. But like a lot of stories that start picture perfect, there were cracks underneath. Her marriage to William Bill Coker wasn't doing well. They'd been together for years, but things had started to fall apart. By 2018, Cheryl had filed for divorce. She was trying to rebuild her life, focusing on her daughters, her independence, and herself. She was active on Facebook, shared updates, and was even dating someone new. On the outside, it looked like she was finally moving on. But in reality, her decision to leave might have put her in danger, because not everyone was happy about her newfound freedom. October 2nd, 2018. Cheryl dropped her daughter off at school that morning. Everything seemed normal. No distress, no strange messages, nothing unusual in her tone. Afterwards, she was supposed to head home, but hours passed, and she didn't show up to pick up her daughter later that day. Her family started to panic. They called, texted, no response. By evening, they went to her house, hoping she'd just fallen asleep or misplaced her phone, but her car wasn't there. They filed a missing persons report and the search began immediately. The next day, police found her white Ford Edge SUV parked near Brenner Avenue, just a few miles from her home. It wasn't hidden or abandoned deep in the woods. It was sitting in plain sight. Inside, her purse and phone were still there. That detail sent a chill through everyone. No one voluntarily leaves their phone and wallet behind, especially not Cheryl. At first, investigators thought maybe Cheryl had just needed space, but then CCTV footage changed everything. Cameras from a nearby parking lot captured a man wearing black pants and a black hoodie, walking away from the area where Cheryl's car was later found. The problem? The footage was blurry. You couldn't see the face clearly. But police noticed something in his movements, his stride, his build, that looked eerily familiar. When they showed the footage to family members, several said it resembled Bill Coker, Cheryl's husband. Still, there wasn't enough to prove it. Police searched the car and her home, finding no clear signs of struggle. Friends told detectives Cheryl had been terrified of Bill before she disappeared. She'd allegedly told some of them, "If anything ever happens to me, it's him." But here's the twist. Some people said the marriage wasn't that bad, that maybe she left voluntarily. Others pointed to the man she'd been dating, suggesting jealousy or conflict. There were so many rumours flying around that it became hard to tell what was real and what was just noise. Once the police dug into the details, things started to get darker. Cheryl and Bill's divorce had turned messy. He was still living in the family home while she stayed elsewhere. On social media, Cheryl hinted about starting a new life, posting motivational quotes, talking about fresh beginnings. But the timing was suspicious. The day before she vanished, she had posted one final update, and then silence. Detectives discovered that Bill had refused a polygraph and wasn't cooperating fully. They also learned that his cell phone data didn't completely line up with where he said he'd been that morning.
Did you kill her?
No, I didn't. I did not. Never in my entire life hurt anyone.
A business's surveillance video the I-Team has previously obtained from the morning Coker disappeared shows her SUV pull into the Kroger parking lot less than a mile from her house. The video shows a person dressed in all black getting out of Coker's SUV. That's close to the time someone called 911 saying they saw a suspicious man dressed in black walking in her neighborhood. Later that night, surveillance footage captures Bill Coker at Kroger getting groceries. As he's leaving, police said Bill Coker appears to have a visible injury on his arm. Investigators believe that is significant to the case.
Even more chilling, investigators found surveillance footage showing a car matching Bill's vehicle driving near the spot where Cheryl's SUV was later abandoned. Then there were the dogs. Cadaver dogs picked up a possible scent near Cheryl's home and another near the wooded area by the intersection. It wasn't enough to confirm anything, but it added to the suspicion that she hadn't simply walked away. In the weeks following her disappearance, new details surfaced about both Cheryl's and Bill's personal lives. Cheryl had started seeing someone else, but so had Bill. And not just casually, he was in another relationship. This wasn't just a disappearance anymore, it was starting to look like a cover-up. Almost 2 years later, in December 2020, hikers found skeletal remains in a wooded area near Haddocks Road, not far from where Cheryl's SUV had been left. The remains were quickly identified through dental records. It was Cheryl. Her family finally had answers, and heartbreak. The area was rural, quiet, and not a place someone would accidentally end up. Police officially ruled her death a homicide. All signs pointed back to one person, her husband. Investigators confirmed that Bill Coker was their prime suspect, but before he could ever be charged or brought to trial, tragedy struck again. In 2022, Bill died by suicide, and with that, the case reached a brutal standstill. No confession, no trial, just silence. Even now, the full truth of what happened to Cheryl that October morning may never be known. But her family continues to speak about her, remembering her as more than a headline, a mom, a sister, a friend who deserved better. In the end, the case became a haunting reminder of how often domestic violence hides behind ordinary walls, behind family photos, smiles, and social media posts. The SUV, the security footage, the divorce, all of it led back to one devastating reality. Cheryl didn't just vanish, she was silenced. And maybe the most haunting part of all is that, in the quiet streets of Riverside, everyone still drives past that same intersection, the one where her car was found, and wonders how close they came to passing by a secret no one was meant to find.